Hello, everyone. I hope that everybody had a good weekend and are having a good week so far. Happy Canada Day for those of you celebrating. Well, it was yesterday, but happy belated Canada Day. We are going to continue with our In Other Waters playthrough. Let's see where we go. I think we're about to go over the edge into the rift. Or whatever it was. Giant free dive. Monet, the previous scientist, who just took off her suit and then just did a free dive like 3 kilometers down. I don't know how she managed to do that. And survive. Maybe she didn't. I think we're about to find out, though. Alright. I don't think we have any stuff that needs researching, maybe? We don't know what that shed tail belongs to. And a chitin plate left behind by a segmented worm. Don't have a tax entry for that either. Alright, whoops. Okay. Got a little bit of everything with us. Time to dive. There's some bloom stuff there that we'll go back for later. For now, I think we're going to do this. Right into the drop-off. Are you back with me? We are 20 seconds from the ocean floor. Okay, good. I was getting lonely in here. We are descending fast. The drop is huge. 1.5 kilometers down. Let's stay focused. We have no data on this zone of the ocean. The light of Glee 667C sees 3 stars barely makes it this deep. I've got my headlamps on. You'll have to be my eyes. I want to work my way along the slope to the northeast. We're looking for any trace of Monet or the ROV she sent down here. Let's get to it. Alright, let's scan. The dusk slopes. Beyond the reach of the suit's lamps, the slopes descend slowly into the dark toward the abyssal plain. Good times. We are 1,500 kilometers, or 1,500 meters down. The heavy currents of the upper ocean don't reach down here, leaving the water still and silent. Sediment suspended in the column. A bioluminescent glow drifts through the silt, a faint but noticeable chemical blue. Oh, what's that? Tentacle? A tangled veil. These drifting veils of material appear to be creatures of some kind. They are pulsing faintly with pinpricks of light. These silken creatures are almost transparent apart from those lights. What are they? The veil stretches away from the tangle of the group, reaching toward new territories. Oh, it's rather large, whatever it is. In the headlamps of the suit, I can occasionally see a vein-like texture to the surface of these veils. What substances sustain them? The veils are gathered in groups which I am calling tangles. They seem to be intentional formations, but for what purpose? So we have a field of veils. Diaphanous veils twitch suspended in the water. They are seeded with pinpricks of bioluminescence, like distorted star fields. Or the veil edge. Through their soft shifting forms, though their soft shifting forms can be hard to see, this seems to mark the edge of one of the veils. I think we'll stick along the edge because we don't know what that is yet. We don't want to get stuck inside something we don't know what it is. Or I suppose we won't have a choice. The lights these veils produce come directly from beneath their skin. They shift from transparent to light-emitting in undulating waves. I guess we're going in. Between these two veils, some clear water is visible, a temporary corridor between two hanging sheets. Well, let's keep going this way then, I guess. Oh. Going through that sapped our power. Okay, so we want to try to minimize crossing the veils, apparently. Though tangled and without any clear sensory organs, these creatures seem to have a strong control over their position in the water. Surrounded on all sides by drifting sheets of bioluminescence, this space is a fluid shifting interior. A gap between the veils. Is it that these are two competing individuals, or is this just a temporary separation of a single group? Let's stick outside of them. Digesting veil. At closer inspection, these veils are jeweled with the half-digested remains of other life, passing conveyor-like from one veil to the next. And there is a sample candidate there. Here the tangle is receding, a few of its trailing veils hanging still in the dark water like the poised limbs of a dancer. Okay, well, we're going to cross again then, because this will give us a sample. Oh, yeah, that saps us. Animal tissue. What do we have here? Digested remains. An unknown creature caught by a veil and partially digested. Studded along the veils are the remains of creatures that have been confused by the lights and caught by these transparent hunters. New species logged. I'm naming these strange creatures snare veils. They are such beautiful traps. Wide, delicate silken panels of bioluminescent cells. They work in unison to entrap and digest creatures which come too close. Okay, we gotta cross back again. Oh. It's quite the zap. This veil is blinking the same sequence of lights over and over. Perhaps this is a way of attracting curious prey into their grip. Why didn't Monet tell anyone about this place? The life here, it's the biggest discovery in human history. Do you think she's trying to protect it? It's possible. But then why bring me here? Maybe she expects me to keep her secrets too. She always had her secrets, but this feels bigger than that. Away from the veils, the water returns to its inky darkness, resisting the strong beams of the suit's lamps. Silt is gathered around the base of two large outcrops, forming a natural respite from the steady downward pitch of the slopes. Dark basalt layers rise up out of the slope like fractured towers, each jagged layer carrying drifts of silver silt. Dark towers of angular stones are the telltale signs of volcanic processes active under the planet's surface. What must be one of Monet's improvised remote vehicles lies twisted in the silt. Could it have been disabled by the veils? What's that? This debris. It's one of Monet's ROVs. Wait, to my left, is that... Oh no, it's her. Is that... Oh god. She's here. She's alive. We are reading life signs, and she is breathing. That can't be right. How long has she been here, lying in the silt? We have to bring her back to the base, but I don't... Okay, focus, Ellery. What do we do? We can use the ROV to boost our signal to the base, send for the drone, then we can start the ascent. Get me back to the ROV debris, and hook us up with the terminal. She's alive and unconscious, underwater with no suit. Okay, we are synced. Call the drone now. We need to get her out of here. Wow, I wasn't expecting to just find her lying down there. That's crazy. Nurse in the med bay. You're back. I need to talk. I'm on the medical level. She's totally unresponsive. I don't know what to do. I don't even understand how she is still alive. I keep going back to the image of her, blue, silent, staring out of the silt, a thin stream of bubbles flickering from their mouth. How long had she been there? The pressure alone should have crushed her at that depth. This doesn't make sense. But she is alive. I need to talk to her, but nothing. I want to understand. I want to know what is going on here. I haven't seen her in years, not since she left, and now here she is. Do you ever imagine all the things you're going to say to a person when you might see them again? No. No, of course you don't. You're a machine. Sorry. I came here for her. I don't know why I did, but I did. I think it's because I had to hope for something to change, for there to be an explanation. For those months we spent together to mean something again. Sorry, I'm not making any sense. This makes twice. 2 times she's turned my life upside down. At least this time I knew what I was signing myself up for. It's not like I had anywhere else to be. The further I am from that dying planet, the better. What comes next? We keep going. She was looking for something out here, something important enough to leave her like this. It's our turn to take that forward, to find that explanation. I think she built that lab in the bloom to study those mineral skeletons, artificers she called them. But something was leading her deeper, beyond the drop-off. Let's start with those ROVs she sent out. Maybe they found something we didn't. I'll mark their last known positions on the dive map, and I'll be here until you're ready to go. Alright. Med subject Mine Nomura, comatose, muscle loss apparent, erratic brain activity, administering sedative. We have a new journal entry. Personal log 04, Dr. Ellery Vass. She is still alive. I never thought I would see her again, not after she sliced the core from the base on Kepler 62F and took the shuttle to God knows where. I spent weeks slowly freezing in that base, waiting for the Baikal team to come get me. After that, it all fell apart. There was never any life on Kepler 62F. Mine had faked the whole thing. She wanted the data core she knew Baikal would provide when she gave them evidence of first contact. Excuse me. Oh. Baikal blamed me, and my work as a consulting biologist collapsed. I limped back to Earth to take a post-grad position on that dying planet. There's little need for marine biologists in a place where the only oceanic life is kept in tourist-choked reserves. That's where I stayed, watching the endless exodus of humans with enough money to leave, looking out across the dead ocean at the pinpricks of their shuttles' rocket flares, until Mine called me here. I should blame her for everything, but I just want to know why. Perhaps now, if she ever wakes up, I can ask her. Wow, she abandoned her. She took the previous base's power core and just left. That's shitty. She faked all the data. Don't like that. Alright, we got digested remains. Probably aren't going to... Hold on. Probably aren't going to be associated with anything yet. Oh, snare veils taxonomy updated. Collata, distributed bodies. Velum lacarus. Snare veils are unique, soft-bodied creatures that resemble a thin sheet of silk studded with lights. Found in tangles of multiple individuals, their hypnotic swaying and flickering lights make them difficult to see in their entirety. But from my initial observations, they appear to be flat panels of bioluminescent cells, which are faintly veined with both a nervous and a digestive system. Veils survive by capturing creatures which swim onto their surface, somehow stunning or killing them and then digesting them on the exterior of their bodies. I have also observed veils passing prey from one individual to another, suggesting that they have some form of social interaction between individuals. Analysis of the digested remains they leave behind might give some clues as to their predatory behavior. Analysis of unknown remains found nearby a veil tangle shows that this creature captures and kills its prey through an electrical charge. This charge, presumably produced by electric organs that sit beneath the veil's outer membrane, can produce incredibly high voltage outputs, and the remains analyzed showed significant damage from these electrical discharges. The remains also suggest that the veils use electrical pulses to control the muscles and nervous systems of captured creatures, forcing them to swim deeper into the grip of the veil when captured. The veil's manipulation of electrical signals seems highly nuanced, and they may also use them for the detection of prey and even communication between individuals. In order to confirm these theories, analysis of veil tissue is necessary, although this may prove difficult. Alright, I guess we are going to look for ROVs. Alright, that's last known position there, and this one's last known position there. Alright. Okay. So we'll go northeast first, probably. Try to get veil. One of those veil samples if we can. Planting debris from the disabled ROV traces back into the sand. Oh, maybe we don't have a choice. We're going to have to go northeast. Sorry, hold on one sec. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Ugh. All right. Volcanic outcrop. Unmistakably basalt formed in some volcanic trench aeons ago. This outcrop is outlined by the faint light of Gliese 667c's suns. Alright, here we go. Hill floor descends rapidly away from the ridge in this direction towards a field of shadowy outcrops, or eastern plain. East of the ridge, a small rise opens into a flat plain of dimpled silt. We're going to head northeast first. Featureless expanse, lit flatly by the suit's lamps. An occasional silver bubble breaks the surface of the flat silt, carrying a cloudy trail of sediment behind it. Something's under the sand, maybe? Or silt? Repeated trails of unknown creatures mark the sand, wandering back and forth across the rippled surface. So there is some sort of life down here. Other than the veils. Whatever they ate, I guess. Bubbles of methane trickle out from beneath the silt, creating silvery columns wreathed in sand. Ahead, the seeps have created small craters in the seabed where brine is gathering in clouded pools. Maybe some life in these pools. Oh, look at that. Bioluminescent life, maybe. Shimmering landscape of ghostly pools stretches out in the lamps, the dense brine sitting in the craters like undersea ponds. Is it bioluminescent? Brine pools. The methane seeps here must be forming them. The pools themselves will be toxic and also anoxic. Let's navigate carefully. They're beautiful fog-skinned puddles sunk into the seabed, but they are dangerous. Okay, so we gotta try to avoid crossing them. The seeps imprint the geological patterns of the underlying rock into the silt, forming both deep pools and untouched rises. Alright, we're gonna have to cross one here. Yeah. Complex pattern of pools fills the seabed, shimmering with toxic chemistry. Oh, there's something moving down here. Patterns of dents in the sand show the paths of some feathery creatures that cross from pillar to pillar in slow and purposeful loops. Let's head down here and take a look at what that is. Bristling fronds. These feathery fronds are growing along the edge of the brine, waving their matted leaf-like limbs through the water. These swaying fronds, are they a colony or a single creature? I'll start recording my observations. Oh, what's that? Crab-like creature. The crab-like creature is moving slowly across the seafloor with a large translucent crest protruding from its back. These crawling creatures seem to keep to themselves. Let's keep track of where we find them. Waving shapes of complex fronds crest the surface of the pools, sweeping the brine into wispy shapes. Each of the many limbs of these branching creatures is carefully dipped into the brine pools one by one before pulling back. A mucus bubble sits on the silt, shed from the back of the bubble-skinned creature which are trekking the perimeter of the pools. There's a sample candidate there. Mucal tissue. Delicious. Mucus bubble. Multi-chambered mucus bubble found on the ocean floor. Wonderful. On closer inspection, the large translucent crest appears to be gas-filled organ. A gas-filled organ or bubble of some kind rising from a slit in the shell. Occasionally this creature will sweep its limbs back into the hairy mass of its body before thrusting them out again. What is it doing? Thick hairs of each frond seem to be mottled with a reddish substance. Does it grow there amongst the hairs? If I get close to these crabs, maybe? No. While some pools transition into bare sand, others are choked with fronds. Methane seep. Microbial mats. Bright orange carpets of microbial growth. Gathered beneath the waving fronds stretch away from the pool. We could sample them here. Okay, let's do that. Oh, it's not the one I wanted to go to. Guess it doesn't matter. Same difference. Alright, let's get a frond sample here. Bacterial colony. Brine mat. An orange bacterial mat sampled from beside a brine pool. When a limb is removed from the brine, the red substance matted into the hair seems to glow brighter, shifting in color. The dipping motion of the fronds as they filter the brine creates a hypnotic sense of motion along the edge of the lake. Try to get some more brine samples, maybe. Or brine frond samples. There's a crab. Its wandering creatures noisily chew away at the rock and silt of the ocean floor, filtering it for nutrients, perhaps? It seems that the substance caked into these creatures' hair is reacting to the brine somehow. Perhaps it is helping them feed. There's another bubble there. A bubble shed from the back of a creature sits at the edge of the lake, brine curling around its base. I think we can get there. We're going to skim the pool here. It's alright. Brine eaters, new species logged. I'll log these creatures as brine eaters. You can take a look at my observations back at base. Branching, feathery fronds which grow alongside brine pools, carefully dipping their matted and stained limbs in and out of the brine. Another mucus bubble. Wonderful. A faint, pulsing glow like lightning in a storm can be seen beneath the cloudy brine. Alright, we're going to get in. Get this sample. And get out. Some kind of animal shell. Glowing shell found among the brine, stained with chemicals. Now I want to head back. Oh, what was that? There was something moving fast up there. See if we can get it back on the scope. Here the complex of pools melts in the lake, which shines with a toxic intensity. Can anything live out there? Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to what that thing was flying around. This brine lake is vast. I can't see the other side. What might be hiding within its toxic fog? Do you think life might survive out there? Yes. It's true this planet has shifted my ideas about what is survivable. Perhaps there is something out there waiting to be discovered. Another crab. Different individuals of the species seem to have varying sizes of bubbles on their backs. Are they carrying oxygen in there? I want to see that. There. Oh. Gotcha. Fast creature. These rapid swimming lobster-like creatures have dark shells with very large translucent tails. How do they move so fast? These creatures are so fast. Their dark coloring makes them hard to see, but let's keep track of them. Okay, we don't have... Holy moly! Silt-legged stone. This tall crab-like creature towers above the brine pool. An unusual assortment of rocks, shells, and bones adorn its back. How can these creatures survive out here among the brine? I'll start keeping notes on their behavior. That thing's huge. Okay. See, I could burn something here for some energy. Burn this for some oxygen, maybe? Wow, that is very big. There's another sample of them. I'm seeing this creature take dead remains from the brine pool and decorate itself with them. Trophies of shell and bone. That's very weird. Head further into the brine? I'm not able... I think we can't get a retrieval from here. Deep crater. This hole cuts deep into the bedrock of the plain. Could this be caused by a seep? Looks more like an impact crater. Impact crater. Burning beach. The edge of the lake is stained with brightly colored bacterial mats which recede beneath the cloudy toxic mass of the brine itself. The curve of the lakeshore extends out of sight, and the other side of this vast depression is too far out into the dark to be seen. Microbial mats, another sample candidate. Among the ornate fronds, I can see the neon orange of microbial carpets spreading out from the pool in complex growth patterns. We'll get the sample candidate here. We have to find that other ROV. We're not going to be able to get retrieved. I suppose I could consume one of these brine mats. Grab another one here.